I need to tell you why I started this project. 8 months ago, I was sitting in a leadership meeting at the company where I work. We were discussing hiring plans for 2025. Headcount, roles, budget. And I found myself asking a question I couldn't shake. Are we hiring people into jobs that won't exist in 18 months? Not because I'm paranoid. Because I'd been paying attention. I'd seen what OpenAI was shipping, what Google was announcing, what every AI company was building, and it all felt connected. But I couldn't see the pattern clearly. So I did something that I don't think anyone else in this space has done publicly. I stopped covering AI companies one announcement at a time. Instead, I started mapping them. Every product launch, every hire, every patent filing, every acquisition, every subtle change in language from their CEO. Not one company, all of them. Simultaneously, on one map, starting in October 2024, I began tracking OpenAI, Google DeepMind, Anthropic, Meta, Microsoft, and NVIDIA. Every week, every data point, and about 3 months in, something emerged from that map that genuinely unsettled me. Because when you track these 6 companies side by side, their moves don't just rhyme, they're identical. 6 companies. 6 supposedly different visions, one destination. And almost nobody is connecting these dots. Until right now. Here's how most AI coverage works. And I say this with respect, because I've learned from many of these channels. Something gets announced. It gets covered. OpenAI launches a feature. There's a video about that feature. Google announces something. Video about Google. That's news. That's valuable. But that's not what we do here. AI. Compass exists to show you the pattern behind what's happening so you can see where everything is heading before it arrives. So here's what I built. I'm calling it the Convergence Map. Think of it like a detective's evidence board, the kind with photos, documents, and red string connecting everything on a wall. Each of these 6 companies occupies a position on this map. I'm going to walk you through each one and draw the connections. By the end of this video, the map will be complete, and the picture it reveals will fundamentally shift how you think about the next 2 years. Not AI's future, your future, because that distinction is about to stop existing. Let's start with the company moving fastest. If you've been paying any attention to AI, you know ChatGPT. You probably use it daily. You think of it as a chatbot, a conversational assistant. You ask questions, it gives answers. Maybe it writes your emails. It's a tool you operate. That framing AI as a tool that a human operates was OpenAI's entire narrative for 2 years. It's not anymore. In January 2025, OpenAI released Operator. This is not a chatbot. It's an autonomous agent that opens a web browser, navigates websites, fills out forms, clicks buttons, makes purchases, and completes multi-step tasks entirely on its own. You don't guide it step by step. You tell it what you want done. Aneddo es italiano. White, yo. Then came their autonomous codex agents, not autocomplete style coding assistants. Fully autonomous software engineering. You give it a task, fix this bug, build this feature, refactor this code base, and it spins up its own environment, writes the code, tests it, debugs it, and delivers a finished pull request. No human in the loop. But here's what most people missed. OpenAI restructured its entire corporate identity from nonprofit research lab to capped profit, to now pursuing full for-profit status. Why? Because what they're building isn't a research paper. It's a commercial workforce product designed to be sold to enterprises at scale. I tracked their job postings from October 2024 through April 2025 using LinkedIn, their careers page, and levels.fy. The surge wasn't in AI research roles. It was in agentic systems engineering, enterprise sales, robotics, partnerships, go-to-market strategy. They're not hiring to build a better chatbot. They're hiring to deploy a workforce. And then there's Sam Altman himself. Listen to how his language has evolved over the past year. He doesn't say AI assistant anymore in January 2025. In his own words, "We believe AI agents will join the workforce. They'll start as interns and eventually become co-workers." Not help the workforce, join the workforce. As interns first, then co-workers. That's not a metaphor. That's a product roadmap stated in plain English. First line on the map. Let's see if the pattern holds. Most people think of Gemini as Google's answer to ChatGPT, a conversational AI. A search enhancement. On the surface, that's what it looks like. Beneath the surface, Google is doing something far more ambitious. Project Mariner, announced late 2024, expanded through 2025. An AI agent that operates within your Chrome browser. It doesn't just answer questions about websites, it navigates them, reads pages, understands layouts, clicks links, fills forms. Project Astra. A multimodal agent that sees through your phone, camera, or screen and takes actions based on what it observes. Not responding to prompts, observing and acting independently. But here's where the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. Google isn't keeping agent capabilities in separate products. They're embedding them directly into Gmail, Docs, Sheets, and Calendar. It's an autonomous layer that reads your emails, drafts, responses, schedules, meetings, and takes actions proactively, without being asked. Then there's physical world integration. Google DeepMind's robotics division isn't a side project. RTX is designed to give physical robots the same general intelligence Gemini has digitally. Building the bridge between digital and physical agents, I track their job postings. The pattern is almost identical. Massive surge in agentic systems engineers and enterprise deployment roles. Sundar Pichai, on the last 2 quarterly earnings calls, he used the phrase AI agent more than search or assistant. That's not accidental. Google's pivot is identical to OpenAI's. 2 lines, same direction, same destination. Let's keep going. Anthropic has always marketed itself as the safety-first AI lab. The responsible ones. The careful ones. So why is Anthropic building an AI that literally takes control of your computer? Computer use. Released initially in beta, Claude doesn't just chat. It sees your screen, moves your mouse cursor, clicks applications, types into fields autonomously. The safety-first AI company built an AI that takes remote control of your computer. That's not caution. The patent filings confirm it. I tracked Anthropic's patent applications through the USPTO over the past 8 months. They've filed patents related to multi-step autonomous task orchestration and critical task completion frameworks that minimize human confirmation. They're building an autonomous system designed to complete entire workflows from start to finish with minimal human interruption. Then there's Dario Amadea's essay, Machines of Loving Grace. In it, he argues that powerful autonomous AI is inevitable. The question is only whether it will be deployed responsibly. We're past the question of if and commercially. Anthropic's partnership with Amazon, enterprise API pricing restructured around agent usage, case studies focused on autonomous workflow completion rather than conversation. Every data point tells the same story. 3 companies, 3 lines, almost perfectly parallel. Starting to see it. Meta. Most people think of Meta's AI as chatbots in Instagram consumer features. Social media gimmicks. That's exactly what Meta wants you to think. What they're actually building is far more significant. Meta has deployed AI agents across WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook that don't just respond to users. They initiate conversations, create and post content, engage with other users, and in some cases conduct transactions. These aren't chatbots waiting for input. These are autonomous digital entities operating within social platforms. Now, think about scale. 3.9 billion monthly active users across Meta's platforms. If even a fraction of interactions shift from human to human to human to agent, you're looking at the largest autonomous agent deployment in human history, happening right now. Today, while most people think Meta is just adding fun AI filters, and the technical infrastructure tells the same story, Meta's Llama models, which they've open-sourced and which power much of the AI ecosystem, have evolved dramatically. The latest versions aren't optimized for conversation. They're optimized for function calling and tool use. Agent behavior. The ability to interface with external tools, APIs, databases, and execute actions in the real world. Meta isn't building a chatbot foundation model. They're building the foundation model for autonomous agents and giving it away for free so the entire ecosystem builds on their architecture. And Zuckerberg himself said this publicly in February 2025. We think there are going to be hundreds of millions, maybe even billions, of AI agents in the world. More AI agents than people. More AI agents than people. That's not a safety researcher making a warning. That's the CEO of the largest social network on Earth, stating his product roadmap. 4 lines. Same center. Now let's talk about the 2 companies that make this entire convergence actually possible. Because it's one thing to build autonomous agents, it's another to deploy them at global scale and give them infrastructure to operate. Microsoft and NVIDIA aren't just participants in this convergence. They're building the roads everyone else drives on. Let me start with Microsoft. Copilot started as autocomplete. Predictive text on steroids. Then it became a sidebar assistant in Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Helpful. Passive. A tool. Watch the progression over the last 8 months. Copilot Studio now lets enterprises build custom autonomous AI agents. Not chat agents that perform entire business processes, processing invoices, onboarding employees, managing supply chains end to end without human intervention. And here's the detail that should make every business leader pay attention. Microsoft changed their pricing model. They shifted from per-user seat licensing to consumption-based pricing for agent actions. Let me say that differently. Microsoft is now charging companies not for software licenses, but for labor performed by AI agents. They've literally financialized artificial labor. In software development, GitHub Copilot evolved into Copilot Workspace. You describe a feature in plain English. The AI reads the entire codebase, develops a plan, and writes code across multiple files. The human's role shifted from developer to reviewer, and based on their roadmap, even the review step is being automated. Satya Nadella isn't being subtle. He's moved from saying AI tools to AI colleagues. In Microsoft's Q1 2025 earnings call, he used the phrase digital labor 4 separate times. He's not making a metaphor. He's announcing a product category. Now NVIDIA. Everyone thinks of NVIDIA as a chip maker. They're building the entire operating system for the autonomous agent economy. At the bottom, Jeep. Above that, CUDA. Above that, Omniverse, the simulation platform where AI agents learn to operate. Above that, Isaac, the robotics platform. And at the top, Hare 00 Tonela, their foundation model for humanoid robots. NVIDIA has partnered with virtually every major humanoid robotics company. They're providing the AI brain for the physical body. Jensen Huang calls data centers AI factories, not computing centers. Factories. Because they're producing digital labor. A site. HIT, set 2024. IT departments will become HR departments for AI agents. The CEO of a company worth trillions said that on stage, 2 applause. 6 lines. 6 companies. 1 destination. It's time to reveal the center of the map. For 8 months, I tracked 6 companies, hundreds of data points. Hiring surges, product pivots, patent filings, pricing model changes. CEO language shifts, partnership announcements, earnings call transcripts, and every single data point pointed here. The autonomous digital workforce. AI systems that perform work, make decisions, execute tasks, and operate continuously without a human in the loop. This is not a prediction anymore. This is not a thought experiment. This is what 6 of the most powerful technology companies on Earth, representing $10 trillion in market value, are all building right now, simultaneously, on converging. But here's what makes this different from every other technological shift in history. They're not building competing versions. They're building complementary layers of the same system. OpenAI and Anthropic are building the brain-tracing, planning, decision-making models. Google is building the integration layer, embedding those brains into tools billions already use. Meta is building the social and communication layer agents operating in spaces where humans connect. Microsoft is building enterprise deployment infrastructure, making it as easy to hire an AI agent as to buy a software license. NVIDIA is building physical infrastructure chips, simulation environments, robotics, frameworks that give agents. They're not competing. They're assembling, like different organs, forming the same body. The autonomous digital workforce isn't one company's product. It's an emergent system being built by the entire industry. No single company planned it this way, but economic incentives and competitive pressures all push them to the same destination at the same time. This is convergent evolution. In biology, convergent evolution is when unrelated species independently develop identical traits because environmental pressures demand it. Wings evolved separately in birds, bats, and insects because flight was the optimal solution to their environment. The autonomous digital worker is the wings of the AI industry. Every company arrived at it independently because it's the optimal solution to the economic environment. And the timeline. Based on the deployment pace, I've tracked, not speculation, actual shipping cadence, I estimate we are 12 to 18 months away from autonomous AI agents being deployed at enterprise scale. Not as experiments, not as pilots, as the default mode of operation. I could end this video with the reveal, but that's not what the AI Compass is for. We don't just show you the map, we show you how to navigate it. So let me be direct about what this convergence means for you personally. Implication 1, employment is about to but within 2 to 3 years, there will be 2 types of workers: those who manage, direct, and collaborate with AI agents, and those whose jobs are being done by AI agents. There is no middle ground forming. The middle is exactly where replacement happens. If your daily work consists of tasks that can be described as process steps that follow a pattern, decisions that follow rules, outputs that follow templates, you are in the replacement zone. Not because your work isn't valuable, because that's exactly what autonomous agents are optimized to perform. The move starting today, not next year, is to shift toward work that involves defining what should be done, not doing it. Strategy, judgment, novel problem definition, creative direction, ethical oversight, relationship building. These are capabilities that sit above the agent layer. Implication 2. The winners will be those who manage AI agents, not just use AI tools. There's a massive difference between using ChatGPT to write an email and orchestrating a fleet of autonomous agents across a business process. The first is a skill. The second is a career. The people who learn agent orchestration, how to define objectives, set constraints, monitor outputs, manage autonomous systems, will become the most valuable professionals in any organization. Think of it this way. Right now, a manager manages humans. Soon, the most important management skill will be managing AI agents. The companies that figure this out first will have an almost unfair advantage. Implication 3. The preparation window is 18 months, not 5 years, not 10 years, 18 months. Every company I showed you today is on a 12 to 18-month deployment timeline. The job market, business landscape, and economic structures start shifting dramatically by late 2026. If you wait until the shift is obvious to everyone, you're already behind. The time to learn, adapt, and reposition is right now. While most people still think of AI as a chatbot that helps them write emails. Before I close, I'm going to do something I'll make a habit on this channel, a specific, time-stamped prediction. Something we can come back to, something that holds me accountable. Something that demonstrates whether this analysis is actually correct. The AI Compass prediction, May 2025. By December 2026, at least 3 of the 6 companies covered in this video will have launched commercially available autonomous AI agent products explicitly marketed as workforce solutions, not assistants, not tools, with enterprise pricing models based on work output rather than software licensing. Screenshot it, save it, bookmark this video. We'll revisit it in 19 months, and if I'm wrong, I'll tell you exactly where my analysis failed and what I missed. That's accountability. I started this project because I was sitting in a hiring meeting asking myself, are we hiring people into jobs that won't exist in 18 months? 8 months later, I have my answer. And it's not the answer I wanted, but it's the answer the evidence supports. This is why the AI compass exists. Not to tell you, OpenAI launched a new model. Not to tell you Google updated Gemini. Not to show you cool AI demos. We exist to show you the map. The full picture. The pattern that only becomes visible when you stop looking at individual announcements and start tracking the entire landscape. This map will keep evolving. New data points, new companies, new connections. Every week, we'll update it, show you where lines are moving, what evidence has emerged, and what it means for your career. If that's the kind of intelligence you need, not news, not hype, but strategic analysis, then subscribe right now. Hit the bell. Next week, I'm breaking down the 5 fastest moving AI agent startups that nobody's talking about yet. The companies being quietly acquired to accelerate everything I just showed you. If you think 18 months is aggressive, wait until you see what these startups are already shipping in production. Drop a comment below. Primera hua entatu. Know what job function do you think gets automated first? What role do you think becomes most valuable? Share this video with someone who needs to see the full picture before it becomes obvious to everyone. The future isn't something that happens to you. It's something you navigate. And now, you have a compass. I'll see you in the next one.